Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode.
June 7, 2020, the Existentialism edition. First up, Why Do We Drive? A new book by Matthew Crawford. Once we were drivers with open roads. Today we are likely to be in the back seat of an Uber. Tech giants are hurling us towards a shiny, happy, self-driving future, selling utopia, but equally keen to advertise to a captive audience. Why We Drive reveals that much more is at stake than driving. Blending philosophy and hands-on storytelling, Crawford grounds the narrative in his own experience in the garage and behind the wheel, recounting his decades-long restoration of a vintage VW as well as journeys to thriving auto subcultures across the country. He leads us on an irreverent but deeply existential inquiry into the power of faceless bureaucracies, the importance of questioning mindless rules, and the battles for self-determination against surveillance state. All in the form of driving, so check it out. Next up, Golf's Holy War, the battle for the soul of a game in the age of science, by Brett Cyrgalis. Golf is at its crossroads. As technological innovations displace traditional philosophies, the golfing community has splintered into two deeply combative factions. The old school teachers and players who feel the artistry and imagination, and then the technical minded who want to remake the game around data. The author takes us inside this heated battle playing out from weekend hackers to PGA Tour pros. Titleist Performance Institute, golfers clad in body sensors determine weaknesses in their biomechanics, while others take part in mental exercises designed to test the brain's psychological resistance. However, coaches like Michael Hebron purge golfers of all technical information, tapping into the power of intuitive physical learning by playing rudimentary games. Golf's Holy War is more than a book about golf. It's a book about modern life, existentialism, and how we are torn between embracing and resisting the changes brought by the advances of science and technology. So are you a Luddite or are you a technical phobe, but around golf? Next up, Rivers of Power by Lawrence Smith. Rivers, more than any road, technology, or political leader, have shaped the course of human civilization. They have opened frontiers, founded cities, settled borders, and fed billions. They promote life, forge peace, grant power, and can capriciously destroy everything in their path. Even today, rivers remain a powerful global force and an existential global force. In this book, the author explores a timeless, underappreciated relationship between rivers and civilization as we know it. Rivers are, of course, more important in many practical ways, but the full breadth of their influence in the way we live is less obvious. Rivers define and transcend national borders, forcing cooperation between nations. Huge volumes of river water are used to produce energy, raw commodities, and food. War, politics, and demography are transformed by their devastating floods. The territorial claims of nations, their cultural and economic ties to each other, and migrations and histories of their people trace back to river valleys, and topographical divides that carve out upon the world. Rivers of Power reveals how and why rivers have so profoundly influenced human life. And finally, for those of you who think that American politics is crazy and insane, this book reminds us that it's always been crazy and insane. Old Tip versus Sly Fox looks at the presidential election of 1840, where the nation was in crisis due to economic dislocation, and it was the first time we had truly partisan politics and partisan policies leading the charge. It's a fascinating exploration of William Henry Harrison, our shortest president, who defeated Martin Van Buren, and of course leading to the presidency of John Tyler, which is another story for another day. Thanks for listening. The Sunday Book Review is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network. I hope you'll join me again next week when I review 4 books which caught my eye.